Hello friends and welcome to the last episode of Pathik Lockdown video series part 2. I'm not going to reveal the topic today because you have to guess it. But it's a very good topic according to me, and I think the right topic to end this series. The whole purpose of this series was to help you throughout the lockdown to adapt yourself, to remain relevant, to become credible and emerge stronger from this whole exercise of the second wave of the lockdown or the lockdown. Before we proceed and I start, let me remind you, if you have not still subscribed for our channel, please do that. Please hit the like button and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications whenever the next video is released. And if you have any comments, positive or negative, please mention them. We always value them. So here what I'm going to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story. And this is the story of the man you see on the screen. I don't know whether you know him, but his name is Vincent van Gogh, and he's one of the world's renowned artists and painters. So in his whole life, Vincent van Gogh did around 2100 artworks. 8 to 900 were the paintings. I don't remember the number exactly right. But what is the startling fact? The startling fact, my dear friends, is Vincent van Gogh lived only for 37 years. In 37 years, he did all these paintings. Now that is not fascinating. The fascinating part is, out of these 2100 artworks, he was able to sell only 2 in his lifetime. And that's the reason he was depressed. Now the question is intriguing, is what motivated him to still continue painting when none of his paintings were getting sold. But I guess that's what is passion. That's what is expression of your soul. And so naturally, because only 2 paintings got sold, he was depressed, and at the age of 37, he ultimately committed suicide. Why am I telling this story and what's the point? Now here's the second picture that I want to show you. And as you can see, it's the name of the painting is Dr. Gatchett. Now Dr. Gatchett is the person who took care of Vincent van Gogh during the last days of his life. And Vincent van Gogh made a painting of this doctor. There are 2 versions of this painting. Many years after his death, if I am not mistaken, somewhere in 1990, the painting of Dr. Gatchett was sold in New York for $82.5 million. The kind of success which Vincent van Gogh was struggling to get, much more than that, something which he may not have ever imagined in his wildest dreams, happened many years after his death. Can you guess what the topic is? If not, I'll tell you one more story. Well, I don't know whether you know, but there was a huge movies rental company which was called Blockbuster. And Blockbuster used to rent out DVDs or video cassettes the same way we used to rent out, say 20 years ago. Used to go to a local library or tell them on phone ke ya bhaiya ghar mein bhej do. But they had these physical stores. I remember in Juhu we had something like Read Shore naam ka, there was a library, and they had n number of these video cassettes, a huge collection which you send at home. The Blockbuster was something like that, and hugely successful. Netflix at that time was just getting born, and Netflix, following the same model, started renting DVDs, but they started sending at home, which Blockbuster did not do. Eventually Netflix had their own website and they started releasing content online in a digital format, but it was not at all, it was far from successful at that time. So Netflix went out to Blockbuster and said, let's do a tie-up. You put our ad in your stores, which are there all over the US, saying that, we have a partner, Netflix, and you can see the movies online also. And online, we will advertise Blockbuster saying that, we don't have all the movies, but if you need some rare movie, you can walk down to a Blockbuster store and you can get it from there. Blockbuster very arrogantly refused and said, we are not interested. Years later, Blockbuster went bankrupt. And I don't think there must be any one of you who has not used Netflix to entertain yourself, to just pass your time during this lockdown. And today Netflix is a $28 billion company. What is the topic? Still not guessed it? Well, my dear friends, the topic is nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. So many a times we have dreams, we have ideas, and we go to our well-wishers, we go to experts and we ask them, what do you think? Is it going to work? And sometimes they say yes, they would. Sometimes they say no, it's not going to work. Definitely, take it from me, it's not going to work. Well, I'm here to tell you, nobody knows anything. If you have dreams, believe in them. So the key word here, my dear friends, is belief. And this is the story which I used to share in all my introductories. At the risk of boring you, if you have not heard it before, let me put it, because it helps put things into perspective. So if you go to a circus, you have seen an elephant is never kept in a cage. A chain is put around one of its legs and it's attached to a hook. Now if you see, it's pretty evident that if the huge elephant uses all its strength, it can easily break off the chain and free itself. But the elephant never does that. Now why doesn't he do it? Because when the elephant is brought to the circus as a baby elephant and chained, it tries to break it. But it tries, it fails, it tries, it fails, it tries, it fails, it tries, it fails, till the time of belief takes birth in his head. And till the time the chain is there, you can't be free. That thought of freedom dies. The elephant gives up. And so in spite of having the potential, the elephant remains chained throughout his life. All of us have the potential, but something inside us dies and we give up our dreams. Here's a quote I would like to share from a person who knows it all, or at least he knows about beliefs more than I do. So the quote says, death is not the greatest loss of life. The greatest loss of life is what dies inside us while we live. And this comes from a person called Norman Cousins, and he knows it. Because when he was pretty young, he had a stomach disease which was life-threatening, and the doctors again told him, you're not going to live. Well, what he did, he took strong dose of vitamin C shots and started laughing. And when he laughed, he realized he's getting some relief from pain, at least for a couple of hours. And then he started watching more and more comedy or comic serials on television, Candid Camera or something like that. And he was the father of the laughter therapy. And he lived for another 10 years. After that, he had a heart ailment, he and his wife both together. Again, they resorted to exercise, organic food, vitamins, and lived for another 26 years, which the doctors had said that which was not possible. So if doctors don't know it, who knows it? Nobody knows anything. So if you have a dream, my dear friends, believe in it. So I'm going to tell you the steps of what do you do. Step number 1 is have a dream. Don't be scared of having a dream, and then nurture it. Nurture it till that tree of your dream does not give you the fruits of faith. Or I would rather say, till the roots are strong enough so that your faith is strong enough. Once you have faith in what you believe in, then you need to have clarity of thinking. Now, what do I mean by clarity of thinking? Well, you know you want to reach there, you don't know how. And slowly and steadily you got to make those links. The clarity of thinking is not going to come like a flash of light in your head. Okay. The founder of Netflix did not know right at day one that he's going to make a website and pass on digital content. In fact, he started with a video cassette, and that time everybody told him it's not practical. How is it possible? I mean, video cassette ka courier charges itself will be more and you're not going to earn anything. Then came DVD, so he had a ray of hope. But DVD started breaking in the courier service. Eventually one thing led to another. But he knew that, it's like something like Amazon. Now Amazon has gone into retail, or Facebook has gone into social networking. I need to use technology. How he didn't know. And eventually the links got connected. So you need to seek clarity of thinking and then make optimum use of your resources. Now, how do you make optimum use of resources? Again, one of my favorite stories. The hero of the story is a guy called Soichiro Honda. Honda is a surname, by the way. It later on became a brand name. So Soichiro Honda had a dream that one day I want to make one part and supply it to Toyota Motors. Toyota Motors was a huge company. And he had a small garage, and whatever little he earned by doing his work in the garage, he used to put all that money into R&D, and money was getting wasted according to the rest of the world. He used to make a prototype, supply it to, show it to Toyota. Toyota used to refuse it, reject it. He used to again come back to the drawing board, start the work, but money was getting exhausted, so much so that he pawned his wife's jewelry. He had huge loans. And to add to the misery, we all know Japan was bombed, and in that bombing his garage was also destroyed. He again re-erected the garage in whatever little way he could do and continued his research, and one fine day Toyota accepted his drawings and said, wow, we would like to have a few of these parts. Why don't you supply one lot and give it to us? Now to actually manufacture he needed a factory, and for which he didn't have money. So he told Toyota, paisa nahi mere paas. So they said, why bother you making your factory? You sell these drawings and patents to us, we'll give you a very good money for it and we'll manufacture it ourselves. And that's what he had to do because he had no money. So he did that, he took the money and with that money he just repaid his loans, but he was where he was. So if you look at his whole story, the world would say you're a fool. Instead of doing all this, if you had just run the garage, you would have been a big man today, a reasonably rich man, having respect in the society, kept your family happy. What the hell are you up to? Nobody knows anything. He continued his endeavor. He used to go to the garage on his bicycle every day. And that used to be tedious. He was getting older. So he did some R&D again, attached a small motor to the bicycle and converted it into a moped. When he did that, his neighbor saw and said, wow, this is good. Can you make one for me? He said, yeah, sure. So one by one, he made around 10-20 of those mopeds. And then an idea struck to him, why not get into manufacturing of mopeds and motorcycles? Now, who the hell is going to give him the money? This man has no credibility. Everybody used to think he's mad. No startups, no angel investors, no banks. Paisa kahan se aayega? My dear friends, right from the time when Akbar, Babur, Shivaji, Rana Pratap existed, human brain is as advanced as it is today. Or I would say today it's less advanced. I don't know, but it has been a great model. It depends on how you use it. So Soichiro Honda optimized his resources and he did what he could do. So he got the names of 5,000 bicycle dealers in Japan and wrote them a letter with his hand saying, my name is Soichiro Honda, I have done this. And right now I'm working on a project, I've got 20 prototypes ready, you can come and have a look. If you're into finance, we can create a revolution in this country. Out of those 5,000, 35 of them responded. Finally, a few of them funded and a first huge Honda motorbike was made. Later on, it was a better version came out and today you see Honda is competing with Toyota. Nobody knows anything. Have a dream. Now once you do that comes the most important step. Through all this journey of Mr. Soichiro Honda, he followed 3 principles. He was persistent. He was patient. A very rare quality to find today. And last but not the least, he was practical. Now this sounds dichotomous. That's where you have to gain the balance. Persistent, patient, practical. And once you see that, you can see your dream is coming true. I would like to end this video with this quote which says, I would rather regret the things I have done than regret the things I haven't done. To give it perspective, when Jeff Bezos was asked, what if Amazon failed? He said, I was clear. It's okay. I would have taken my software job and gone back to do a job and I would have still taken care of myself and my family. But at the age of 80, I didn't want to regret. I had an idea, I had a dream, I didn't even try. If it succeeded, it's okay. If it failed, I would still be proud of myself. I tried. But that's what a human being can do. It's okay. Well, today, not only Amazon is successful, but I'll tell you a further story. Today morning, one of my school friends sent me a video. And it was a wonderful video. I mean, what timing it was. I was just planning this video and I got that video. So that is an interview of Jeff Bezos 20 years ago, when Amazon was not even half as successful as what it is today. I mean, the retail store, Amazon.com, that's what I mean. And that's when the interviewer asked him what you would do if anything was possible, if you could do anything. And he said, if I could do anything, I would go to space. So he says, here's the picture. I always see myself like you get into a car, I'm getting a rocket ship and just taking around in space. And everybody in the audience was laughing because that's technically difficult. But you said if anything is possible. I don't know whether it will be possible in this lifetime because we send spacecraft which are unmanned and some of them which go manned, the chances of them returning are very less. So I don't know whether it's going to happen, but you asked a question, I answered. And look at it today. Jeff Bezos has already done his first space trip and so has Richard Branson. Nobody knows anything. So my dear friends, see dreams, believe in them and work towards them. If they work out, it's great. If they don't work out, it's still okay. That's it for today and that's the end of Pathik Lockdown Video Series 2. I hope this series helped you. If it helped you, we are very happy. If it didn't help you, it's okay. We tried our best. We are very sorry. We'll meet again. But for now, this series ends today. Thank you very much. May God bless you and all the best in your life. Bye-bye.